want to see some kind of adjustment because the idea was there, right? I think we all agree. The draft is okay. It's just the Paquito really threw us a little bit off guard. But overall, right now looking at the drafts here, and looks like okay, the draft has happened. That is for us on screen here. Looking like Evo's Makami is going to be first pick, and KBG will be the second pick. And so far, again, banning out the Yi Sun-shin as well as the Jushin. Evo's Makami, you guys were talking about it. Now they ban out the Cho. They ban out the Cho, they ban out the Eve as well as the Freya. First pick for Evo's Makami. Wonder if they want to go with the Bruno route. Still, they ban out the Suyo.
Which I think is solid. I think the Suyo ban's solid. Eevee's not going to be able to take that now. There is the Alpha still open, though. Yep. There still is the Fred open. There still is some Nolan, some assassin picks. Still plenty of options for both teams.
And they get the high loss this time. They deny it from KBG. So will they get the Bruno Matilda or the Alpha?
I feel like you can't ignore Matilda.
Yeah.
Legit. I feel like... Actually, never mind. If you have a very tanky EXP and jungle, then you can have an enchanter, a roamer. But I feel like when it comes to the roam, it's pretty open at this point.
Fight for the ultimate.
You know, one thing though, you mentioned
pick up the Hilda.
Yeah, Hilda's solid. You mentioned that they shouldn't change things up, but Eevee's forcing them to change things up by taking the Hylos, banning out the Cho, you know, the Suyo's ban. At this point, KBG has to bring a essentially completely different draft to the table, but it's the same exact story for Maycam Evolve. Matilda's, though, now going to be open for Maycam. They have the Hylos already. They can throw Hylos into the EXP, and now they have that tanky EXP that they lacked last game, which I think could be very solid for them.
I mean, assuming he's going to the EXP, because here's the thing. I've played a Matilda going up against a Bruno. If I wanted to ult against the Bruno, I will not survive. Just with a few kicks, I'll die. So even picking up the Matilda, it is quite the risk. Not a bad idea. But it is a risk. Once the Bruno has 3 items, it's going to be tough for you to tank all of that. And now they pick up the Alpha as well as the Valentina. Still hiding where this Hylos is going.
Yeah, and they might still consider the Matilda later on if they just want to go with the standard type of combinations that are there. But the Joy.
Yeah, the Joy picked up here.
So they pick up the Joy. And there is also a possibility that they still... Well, I think Tracy would like to get the Hilda though. Like it's a very aggressive roamer. He's known for like all those jawheads and all that. So we definitely want to add to the pressure.
Always on the way.
Second phase of Banzo coming in. KBG going to take out the Granger. I got a feeling they will take out the Beatrix, unlike EV didn't do last time. No, they go for the Fovia. So some people just, I mean, it's solid, but they do leave something open for Maycam here. But I think KBG's confident after game 1. They are a bit more late game present this time, having the Joy, having the Bruno. But they have that Hilda to kind of keep them forward and keep them pushing throughout the mid and early to get to that phase.
Yeah. The thing is, when you pick up a Hilda, you kind of signaling to the opponent, you guys can't use an assassin here. So picking up the Alpha here, I don't even know if this Hilda is going to be all that punishing towards Evo's Makami. Unless KBG picks up a roamer that can pair up with the Hilda as well to make sure that there is some kind of aggression going on. The Cho is not there, but there's still quite a few that can pair up with the Hilda. And now, Maycam Evolve, they pick up the Gato Kacha. Not going to let the Gato Kacha go to KBG because Gato and Hilda is going to be very difficult to handle. And now picking up the Harif. An option. You can press the lane going up against the Bruno, but again, the Bruno can go for a Malefic Gun second item and then you neutralize the lane.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like team fight, this feels like a much better, well-rounded draft from Maycam Evolved compared to earlier. Like the conditions are clear; they're not just so focused on a particular area of what they need to do in order to pull off the conditions of their lineup. But for KBG, that we aren't entirely sure whether or not Hilda will be in the roam or not.
I feel like EXP.
I feel like the other there's a Kaja sometimes.
Even that, though, it still could be EXP and Rome Khalid, honestly. We've seen the
I feel like Rome Khalid is solid, yeah.
Goes over to Tracy, so it does look, they do the swap over to Tracy, so it will be a Rome Khalid. Gives them some nice early aggression, some nice wave clear, and we've seen KBG like to move fast to the off lanes. That's going to help them get that.
Thank you very much to our panelists, and now we're passing it over to our casters. We're going in.
Thank you so much, Lofel. Again, here on the desk, it's... Welcome back. It's game number 2. It's match point already for KBG, and it seems like MyCom Evolve have finally evolved in their drafts as well. They've actually taken a lot of the meta picks now. The Alpha coming in, also the Gacha. It's all about Prio now. If you take a look at MyCom Evolve.
Finally, Marquino goes for a secondary tank for the XP laner, so it feels like we're gonna feel him more for this game.
Let's see if MyCom Evolve can equalize here in the elimination bout, or if Keep Best Gaming will shut the dreams of MyCom Evolve down to keep theirs alive. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Land of Dawn for game number 2. Saksa this time on the Joy, up against Aurora on that Alpha. You can already see the Khalid, Tracy on this Khalid, very, very aggressively trying to get into the enemy jungle. But this is what the Hylos and Gatot does, man. It stops any sort of invade from happening in the early game.
But at the same time, you know, the Khalid, the Hilda, we all know that these are heroes that are aggressive. First 4 minutes, first 5 minutes in, it's usually their power spike to just disrupt the jungle, disrupt the rotation of MyCom Evolve. I'm honestly expecting a very, very fast game for KBG, if ever they start things out strong.
Definitely. We can take a look at the emblems here. The Master Assassin actually from Bilexi. Very confident. Matt. Okay, we'll take a bit of damage there. A little bit of a freeze too. Feshin and Matt revitalized early. But again, for the emblems, it's the Master Assassin for Bilexi. So still very, very confident that he will get the dub in this laning phase. Wants to get as much of an advantage as possible. Meanwhile, for Yurokotsu, it's that Bargain Hunter to get to the item power spikes quicker. It seems like Wind Return will try to cut in the waves. And Marquinhos, if he stays here too long, he might actually lose a couple of minions himself.
Yeah, oh, look at the slows. And now the 3 attackiest heroes are just going at it at each other. Wind Return has to use a Revitalize to walk away, and Saksa to the rescue. Casting his Electrifying Beast just to zone out MyCom Evolve alive. But he might actually get a kill here. A quick response from the rest of the members of KBG. Another Revitalize will be popped by MyCom.
It's all about the Revitalize, just healing back up. MyCom Evolve unable to punish that greedy little, you know, cut up top. But KBG know their limits quite well. They know that Griselda is very, very hard to kill, has to revitalize as well. And Turtle number 1 will be spawning in the game. Tracy, not level 4 just yet, and Aurora actually opting to go for the purple buff first.
Yeah. Right now, Glorious Pathway from Marquino is there to try and zone out KBG. Matt trying to work on Tracy. And a good Spear of Alpha coming in from MyCom Evolve. First blood will go to Marquino. A double kill already for Wind Return. Make it 3 for KBG. They're gonna get another one. Sets their eye on Feshin. Feshin has to use the dash to walk away now, and here comes KBG just rolling right now. 4-0 start.
It's amazing for KBG, for MyCom Evolve. It's another disaster in the early game. Yurokotsu.
Okay, 1v1 between the two. Gold Laners goes in with a flicker! And an outplay, a disaster for KBG. Yurokotsu has the higher ground with the help of the tower.
Everything went their way up top. It's only fair that MyCom Evolve get a win somewhere else on the map and they get it in the bottom lane.
Elevates and detonates with the AOG to bring down LMU. MyCom Evolve slowly finding favorable trades for their side.
Okay. And just like that, KBG now have to hold back again. Bilexi is losing in that 1v1, well, has lost in that 1v1, and MyCom Evolve are actually able to get a kill on. So the goal lead isn't as massive as we expected early on. Now it's actually getting brought down again. Still though, there's one big problem for MyCom Evolve.
What's that?
They got Saksa 2-0-2 on the Joy to deal with later on, right? So MyCom Evolve are going to have to really be careful about how they use their resources. If they try to go for the backliners, Luomu or even, you know, Bilexi, you're going to use a lot of resources, and Saksa might just be able to clean the entire team up.
Yeah.
You have to save some of these stuns for Saksa, because we've seen how deadly a last-minute Joy could be. Wind Return.
Okay, taunt, Wind Return up against 4, gonna get caught up by a lot of ultimate. Spear of Alpha plus the Frigid Glacier manages to stay alive and revitalize. They're using a lot of resources just to take him down. On the other hand, Yurokotsu trying to defend the mid lane turret up against LMU and Tracy.
Okay, so KBG actually still keep the gold lead here because they're able to get Bilexi into the bottom lane, taking the entirety of the turret gold. Bilexi is quite fed now. Look at that, you know, he's made up for that solo kill, that solo death.
Yeah.
Almost taking down a tier 1 turret in the 4th minute of the game.
Yeah, I just like how Bilexi's still unfazed. He has the Master Assassin, got solo killed by Yurokotsu, but still keeps his composure. Again, this is a best of 3, not what we're used to with the best of 1s for the Swiss format. So KBG has actually the upper hand in Makeup Evolve. The pressure is actually on their team if they want to stay alive.
It's a bit odd that MyCom Evolve has been the one losing out in the neutral objective battle with the Aurora, on the Alpha, with Marquinhos, Hylos, and Gatot Wind Return trying to get an angle to attack here. MyCom Evolve are not committing onto the neutral objective. They're leaving KBG an opportunity. Aurora went in.
Oh, Raging Sandstorm plus the Revitalize. Here comes the Frigid Glacier, gonna catch 3. Glorious Pathway coming in from Marquinhos. Another AOG. Killing Spree coming in from Saksha. The clash is continuing. Who's gonna out-sustain each other? Another Revitalize. Aurora goes in with Spear of Alpha. Finally gonna have an answer. It's gonna be a 1v1 between LMU and Marquinhos. Ring of Punishment. Who's gonna win? Pride of Ice will be popped, and I think LMU can turn things around with the Frosty Breeze to bring him down.
The 1v1 goes to Luomu. Oh man, the horse timed it so well, got the stun down as well. We could see the problem for MyCom Evolve already. They burnt out all their resources at the start of the fight, and Saxa was able to dish out so much damage in that fight. And now Saxa's back onto the turtle.
Man, this is just the second turtle. A lot of action is happening right now, and Saxa will secure it, along with their electrifying beats, forcing Makeup Evolve to retreat instead. No trade once again from Makeup Evolve.
And now KBG, they're back to the lead that they had earlier. Tracy and Bilexi.
Okay, they're gonna work on Aurora, forcing out the Spear of Alka. Here comes the Raging Sandstorm. Bilexi, just too much to handle. One more hit, and he has got the goal and bring down Aurora.
Again, punishing these overextensions from MyCom Evolve seems to be the way to go from KBG. And the fact that MyCom Evolve keep on going on Wind Return, I'm not a big fan of this, man. Wind Return is the tank here, and I don't think Keep Gaming lose a lot even if Wind Return goes 0-7.
They did this a while ago in the top lane. They had to use the Spear of Alpha plus the Frigid Glacier just to try and bring him down. It took a lot of resources. End time, Saksha going in with electrifying beats as Bilexi just working on the top lane, gonna get another turret for KBG.
Literally denying the trade over from MyCom Evolve in the bottom lane by clearing out the minion wave while getting yourself a tier 1 up top. Now they're starting to group up, and now it's going to be a problem for MyCom Evolve because all these fights, you know, Bilexi hasn't really been participating in these fights. It's mainly been a 4v4. Now that Bilexi can actually rotate, Tracy has got to be careful.
Here's a stun again, quick sand guard, sustain from both of these teams. It's just too much to handle, but even though they have 2 Revitalize for each side, they have a lot of sustain with their XP and roam. It's still a 6-9 kill scoreboard 7 minutes in, so the kills are coming in despite the high HP that these two compositions has.
And that's the Blood Wings, actually. The choice for Saxa to go for his second item. We usually expect something a bit more aggressive, but Saxa knows just how vulnerable he can be when he actually dashes in forward in these skirmishes. So the Blood Wings will definitely do him a lot in these skirmishes just to stay alive even more so that he can deal more consistent damage out. But MyCom Evolve, they got to deal with Luomu. This monster in the mid lane on the Aurora. 3, 1, and 5. The glowing one first item. You can see the poke actually start to really hurt MyCom Evolve.
Yeah.
MyCom Evolve, they're kind of stuck in a situation where their composition needs them to go for an all-in, but Keep Gaming can also stall them out with Luomu.
Yeah, and even Tracy. Tracy has been soaking up a lot of damage to the point where you thought he was going to die. He's actually going to cast the Raging Sandstorm onto 3 members of Makeup Evolve and then bought enough time for KBG to actually respawn. That's why they have a lot of kills against Makeup Evolve, and this time the Lord has spawned. But Makeup Evolve, it looks like they want to contest for this objective.
They want to contest it. They have to be, I don't know, they're not holding on to it despite the fact that the Joy is up top. It's, again, Luomu keeping them at bay. Bilexi doing the same as well. Does it seem like MyCom Evolve can actually go for an instant fight, an instant decision?
Oh! AOG, okay, he has to Revitalize, gonna get cancelled down. Gonna find 2 onto the backline. Wind Return is actually the first man down, but Matt as well will fall down. It's a 1-for-1 trade for both of these teams, and no one yet will commit to this Lord.
The thing is, though, there are 4 big ultimates used up by both the teams, but KBG has consistent damage with Bilexi. Yorokotsu is very reliant on the Zaman Force with Bilexi.
Oh, Bilexi goes in, Frigid Glacier. He actually dashes out and evades that, forcing out Fashion, also Flicker. So right now, a lot of resources from Maycam Evolve has been expended, and Yorkotsu might be in trouble here. Has the Zaman Force, but Saxa goes in with Electrifying Beats and Rhythm of Joy to bring him down, but it's gonna get taken down by the turret as well. No jungler for KBG.
Well, that's value for Maycam Evolve. They gotta go for it.
Okay, Glorious Pathway in. Will they be able to out-retry KBG despite no jungler? Here comes the kill, plus the Fridge and Glacier. Marquino quite low there as Bryn Return tries to bring him down along with B Lexi. And despite all that, they still can't get a hold of the Lord. KBG still standing tall in the Lord Pit.
Again, it's because KBG just have that consistent damage with them. They have the Bruno. They can constantly deal damage even without a big ultimate. Maycam Evolve too reliant on these ultimates. Once you use the Spear of Alpha, that AOG, Saman Force, where's the damage gonna come from? Keep Gaming are literally just out-sustaining them and literally out-fighting them in these team fights, outlasting them in these team fights. Now it's a 5,000 almost gold lead. They're definitely going to be able to get a 5,000 gold lead as they siege with the Lord. Yorkotsu, the roam item picked up to get him additional gold when he gets assists. But KBG show no signs of stopping here. Once they bait out these crucial abilities, they will push on.
They want to get a sweep. They don't want to be the first team to be eliminated in M6. And so far, Maycam Evolve, I agree with you. The problem is they have to use a lot of ultimates just to try and bring down someone. But the thing is, it's always hitting onto the XP laners, onto the roamers, the tankiest hero of KBG, so they're expending a lot, but they're not even reaching the backline. Marquino goes in, paired up with the Glorious Pathway as well, trying to bring down Belexi! This might be an opening from Maycam Evolve, no damage dealer from KBG. But again, they have to think about the Lord marching in the top lane as Saxa works on the mid lane.
They played a gamble, Maycam Evolve. In desperation, they went for it, and it worked out. They got Belexi. They got the timers down too. For the flicker, it was not up yet for Belexi, and that saved them from getting at least a base turret down. So KBG Gaming, they're kind of caught off bay right now. But again, if we're talking about Maycam Evolve, let's talk about scaling. Now Aurora wants to go for the fight.
Okay, forcing the Raging Sandstorm to be used defensively. Spear of Alpha is gonna miss. A lot of ultimates being casted. So right now, Maycam Evolve, the problem that they had before, which was casting ultimates onto the front line, they solved it by trying to target Belexi. This time, it connected. That's why they were able to find an opening. But who got the purple buff?
Luomu. Luomu got it. He also got the Divine Glaive. So, yeah, that poke is starting to really hurt. You see why? Wishing Lantern is the second item he went for after the Glowing Wand. That's why he's been able to just dish out that poke. Saxa's going in. It does seem like they're actually Aurora.
They're going to try and commit onto Saxa, but again, the mobility of this Joy might be a counterattack for LMU. Frigid Glacier will be used up as well. Just keeping Maycam Evolve at bay as Belexi tries to work on the inhibitor turret up top. AOG, they're going to commit. They want to go for a clash. But LMU says no, stuns Matt, and stops the clash.
Okay, so again, for KBG Gaming, they're just trying desperately to go for these base turrets, but then they can always just fall back, right? It's on Maycam Evolve to actually get a lead or to try to neutralize the lead that KBG have right now. And the fact that KBG can just continuously siege in without getting punished that much means that I don't know how Maycam Evolve are going to fare around the Lord. They were fortunate enough to see Belexi in the bottom lane overextending. That's why they got that pick off. But now as the Lord spawns in, it's going to be a much more coordinated for KBG Gaming, right? For KBG, fighting around the Lord should be great for them. This is where their composition strives the best.
No, it's going to all boil down to the initiations that can be set by Marquino and Matt. Proper targeting, proper decisions. They have to be decisive. When they cast the major ultimate, they have to go all in if they ever want to contest for this Lord.
Yeah, that bottom wave. Maycam Evolve, no interest in actually clearing out that wave. So slowly but surely, the mini waves will be crashing down. Matt gets a taunt.
Okay, here's the taunt. Glorious Pathway for Marquino to try and cut them off. AOG onto the back line, but it's not going to connect Tracy. On the other hand, answers right back with Raging Sandstorm. A lot of Revitalize will be casted here. Saxa just trying to go for the back line, trying to avoid the Spear of Alpha as they will take down Wind Return. Belexi takes down Matt, but Maycam Evolve trying to respond with 2 kills. Belexi on the other hand, volley shot after volley shot. Saxa delivering the final blow to bring down Marquino, and KBG sets themselves up perfectly for this Lord, but Yorkotsu want to go in, going right after LMU, but the Pride of Ice is there. That's why Belexi might be able to take him down and turn things around. 1 member left. Saxa says no, wants to go for the full wipeout, forcing Fish into retreat, and KBG is on the driver's seat.
The call is to end, not to go. Lord KBG Gaming might eliminate Maycam Evolve.
KBG in the verge of trying to stay alive. Here come the ultimates. They have minions, and KBG lives to fight another day.
Keep Best Gaming will survive the grueling 0-2 bracket. But for MyCom Evolve, they will be the first team eliminated from the M6 World Championship Swiss stage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is proof to you that, man, the Swiss stage is brutal.
Brutal, excellent. Something for sure is it's greater than ever. I got tired, man.
I feel you, man. Keep Best Gaming, MyChem Evolve, they went all in, just like you did, Ingan. Unfortunately here, for MyChem Evolve, they're gonna have to say goodbye to their dreams, but for Keep Best Gaming, it stays alive. Laval, take it away, brother man.
Oh wait, that's my script. Oh, wrong.
You want this?
No, it's good. It's a happy and sad moment. Happy for KBG, but unfortunately, this means that MyChem Evolve have been eliminated. And we have to say, in that last fight around the Lord, they gave it their best.
Yes.
Right? We saw how Eurokotsu tried to 1v2. The Bruno is just too much.
Yeah.
The Bruno is too much.
Yeah. Honestly, I felt like it came to a point where who could actually sustain a lot longer and let the damage dealers do their job. And for a moment, MyChem, they really were able to do just that. They were just able to be so tanky. They were able to sustain the team fight. But then when Bilexi and Saksho were just able to reset and they went for the re-engage, and it was over. It was over.
I think the real sad thing there was we know that the Bruno is too much. The Bruno has been winning games back to back to back to back. And the sad thing is MyChem got it in game one. They had, they had some of those power picks and they weren't able to pull it off. And that's what separates, the good from the better than great, right? The greater than ever.
Oh.
It's what separates those teams. And today, KBG was able to survive against the Bruno and then come back in game number 2 and take it easily with the Bruno. And though the side of MyChem did their best, it was not enough for the Chinese representatives.
I feel like every one of us here, we hope the best for MyChem Evolve because, again, they are the champions of the time, and we want to see more of them. But yeah, the world of MLBB is moving so fast. KBG, even after having 2 losses against 2 Indo teams, they have stepped up quite a bit. And their challenge doesn't stop here because it doesn't change the fact that KBG has lost 2 games. They need to lose 1 more for them to get eliminated. So right now, KBG, if they want to go to the knockout stage, they can't lose a single match after this. So, but again, I feel like for every one of us here, big congrats to KBG and MyChem Evolve. We want to see more of you guys. But for now, we're throwing it over to the stage with Rose to talk to the teams.
Huge props to MyChem Evolve for representing the Latin America in the M6 World Championship. They have also given us a glimpse of the Argentinian flair in the world stage. However, their journey has to end today. And guys, on a count of 3, I would like you guys to give a final bow. In 3, 2, 1. MyChem Evolve, everybody. Thank you very much. We hope to see you guys next year, and we hope you guys can come back stronger. Thank you very much. And of course, it is time for the winner's interview. KBG officially securing their first win in the M6 World Championship. And we have Coach Webby with me from KBG. Hello, Coach. How are you? Ni hao. Ni hao. All right. Okay. Let me move to the side a bit. Okay. Now, Coach, first of all, congratulations on securing your first ever win. I know it was a tough 2 days. It was an 0-2, and this is an elimination game. How are you feeling right now, knowing that KBG has another life and can play 1 more game?
首先恭喜你们赢下第1把，这也是中国队正赛赢的第1把。然后呢，想问一下你对KBG 整个队伍现在有什么心情？然后因为你们也可以挺进下一轮了嘛。
I feel very excited and happy, and
你可以让我说。
我觉得还是比较兴奋跟开心的。因为我们前2轮的对手都实在是足够强大，所以今天也很开心能够让中国赛区拿下就是正赛的第一个大场胜利。
We are so excited and happy because the first 2 rounds of our opponents, they are too strong, and today we're facing this team can evolve and we can win the first victory for the CN region. We are so proud of ourselves and we are so proud of our teammates.
All right, Coach. Now, I have a next question. We know that after losing 2 days in a row, it is very hard on the mental state of the players as well as yourself. Now, what was the key point you guys actually worked on to improve to ensure a win today in the elimination round?
我们也知道前2把也输了嘛，然后呢，在进到今天比赛之前，队伍做出最主要的调整是什么？
我们最主要调整是我们调整了下，就是我们整体的选人策略，还有就是保持好足够好的心态吧。因为我觉得我们队伍是一直是很有实力的，只是我们现在需要赢一场，我们需要足够的信心，然后去进行到下一轮。
The primary improvement of ourselves is draft strategy, and we think we need a victory to accumulate our confidence because we believe ourselves and we think we are a really good team, but we just need a victory to prove that.
Now, I agree. A victory does help the morale of the entire team. Coach, after today's win, do you feel more confident with your upcoming matches?
经过今天的对阵，你对之后的对阵更有信心了吗？
对的，就是我们有足够的信心面对下一轮的对手。
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I can see that. Coach definitely does sound more confident. Now, Coach, final question. Year after year, we can see that the China team is actually giving very tremendous improvement in terms of play style. Now, compared to last year wildcard, the difference is really, really crazy. In your opinion, how long more does the China region need to actually step it up and, be one of the powerhouses?
其实这1年来，中国战队的进步也很明显。跟 M5的外卡比，现在中国战队甚至能在正赛拿下一场胜利了。然后你觉得中国队进步的最大的原因是什么？以及中国队需要多久才能成为最有实力的赛区？
我觉得我们进步最大的就是原因是我们足够的努力，然后我们也付出了很多的时间在这个游戏上面。我觉得。明年我觉得我们就可以就是往前3名去冲刺了。
I think the biggest reason for the tremendous progress of CN region is we pay sweat and blood in this game. We work really hard. We spend a lot of time on this, and I think if give us enough time, we can to step to the top 3 in the next year.
Wow, in 1 year, and I agree. Blood, sweat, and tears does play a huge role in improving. Thank you very much to Coach Webby, and congratulations on your win. You guys live to see another round in the M6 World Championship. And with that, let's head back to the panel to break down this elimination match. Panels, take it away.
Congratulations to KBG. Now they're feeling a little bit more confident. Now, here's the thing. Like we said, it's much more difficult after this. But before we even talk about that, we got to talk about the game just now, because this game number 2 is much closer compared to game number 1, where we see Makeup Evolve actually taking quite a few fights. Flexing the watch. Quite a few fights. Dude, Ferry gave me a watch. I'm gonna flex it. But yeah, different game, right? Game number 2, Trex?
Very different game than game number 1. But still a dominating game for Keep Best Gaming. Even with the change in draft from Maycom Evolve, I feel like Keep Best Gaming found answers. The Aurora Limu did great at stopping and stiff-arming the composition that Maycom tried to bring. Whenever they tried to dive, whenever they tried to walk up, down comes the Frigid Glacier, out comes the Freezing, just stopping them in their tracks, and it did so well.
Yeah. Can I talk about one thing here? This is where we discuss. Maleficent is a problem, correct? I feel like one of the other problems that we should highlight based on that final fight is how sustainable the Bruno is. He got a lot of shot from the Harif, and this is Harif. Look at the items for the Harif. Essentially almost full item build. The only item that he doesn't have is the Divine Glaive.
Yeah.
And the Bruno was able to heal through all of that. Like, is that not a problem as well?
It is, it is.
Not to mention Rose Gold, dog.
Yeah, he had the Rose Gold, the house pulse, but then he wasn't alone during that team fight, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he had someone else
Limu was there
with him. Limu was there, and I think he was the one who received majority of the damage first. But to think he was able to like go toe-to-toe with the damage of a Harriet in the late game, it's a problem. I think there was a question yesterday even.
I would say that was not toe-to-toe. That was super one-sided. Like, I did not see Bruno's HP being half.
It did.
And he can just stand there. Like, he doesn't even have to like dance around or anything. He just stands there. It's definitely a problem, I feel like, at this point. The Bruno needs to be something to think about overall.
Yeah, and
he didn't even go defensive. He didn't even pick up the tenacity this time. He was like, listen, I'm going damage, Bruno. I'm going like Kelra builds it. I don't need no defensive emblem on me. I'm going to get aggressive.
Yeah, he was so aggressive with the play styles. And I think even compared to game number 1, we saw glimpses of how Make 'Em Evolve really attempted to adjust. Like, there were more rotations coming in from their side. Every single member felt a lot more involved compared to game number 1. Even Marquinhos on the high loss, like, this felt like a completely different approach from him. He was rotating towards the mid lane a lot more. I feel like there was some sort of pressure towards Lumu compared to game number 1. And even then, KBG, they were just so careful. If they knew that this was the idea for Make 'Em Evolve, then they just tried to avoid it overall and then set things up for themselves when they're ready, and that's when they decided to go for the team fights.
But let me just actually pull it into a bit more micro here. We're looking at tiny, tiny mistakes. Nitpicking, as you would say. The timing for Maycam is actually not all that great, right? Because even Trex, we watched the fight. There are certain times where they really shouldn't go for a fight. They shouldn't initiate. But they did, and they get punished for it quite a few times.
Yeah, they just couldn't help themselves, it seems. And it seems like it was the same problem as game 1. There was times when they definitely shouldn't go for a fight. In game 2, one of the major times was we saw Matt jump in. Was it third turtle or first lord? First lord, I'm pretty sure.
First lord, yeah.
He came around the backside of the pit, goes in, and even though he makes that mistake, the rest of the team didn't have to follow. They could have said, because Matt ended up getting away there, they could have just kind of, all right, we'll chalk that one up to the game. It is what it is. But no, they full engage on that one engage, and it cost them even more of a game. They were behind about 2,500 gold, and yes, it doesn't sound like a lot, but at that point in the game, Balexi and Limu were on fire, and it was not the right time for the play. They should have slow rolled the Lord.
Yeah, now we got to look at the MVP for the game. It looks like it's going to be Balexi, where again, the Bruno is a problem. We heard of the solution, but now we have a problem here where the Bruno so far, again, on the M6 stage, one of the highest win rates, I feel, all the way from the wild card. But Balexi so far, again, has been performing extremely well.
Yeah, and I also would like to think that each and every time Make 'Em Evolve really attempted to go for those consecutive team fights, as we've been mentioning, it was also somewhat their attempt to just really look for these targets from KBG, be it Balexi, be it even Aurora, but then every single time they try to do that, we were also talking about it, like, he's just able to sustain it every single time. Like, they're able to kite them for so long, and by the time they find themselves so committed and invested in the team fight, they realize it's not favoring them anymore. They realize everything is just backfiring for Make 'Em Evolve. And even in the laning matchup, if you would look at the highlights, this was an outplay though. I mean, this was an outplay though, but then after that,
yeah, he goes down, but even there, we see that Balexi picked up the Flicker instead of the Purify that we normally see on a lot of Brunos. And it just goes to show the aggressiveness that he consistently wants to bring. Even in that first play when he got outplayed, he flickers in, tries to go forward, and here's Balexi when by this time he has the Malefic gun in, and he is just spacing well. He's always backing up. Every time Matt comes in, he's able to step out of the AOG, re-engage, and put on the pressure, and Make 'Em Evolve is just never able to close that distance.
And I feel like the highlight of the one over here.
Oh, there.
Look at Balexi's HP. Look at how much it goes back up. Like, as much damage he takes, he just gets it back. And that's why I feel like, okay, the problem against Bruno is that you can't catch him. That's a situation where we saw he got caught.